Hello guys, welcome to Zip Code, and today we are looking at another cup of code. And lucky for you, we are doing SNS in AWS, and we're looking at how Spring Boot can help us send short message service or an SMS or text message to mobile users. So we're going to utilize AWS SNS service to send our users or our mobile clients text messages. So how are we going to do that? And just stay tuned and you will see it in a few minutes. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So the first things first that you want to do is to go to AWS console and search for SNS at the search bar at the top here, and you should come to simple notification service. And how SNS actually helps to deliver this is it has two types of configs. One is it's either a promotional message, which is a campaign message, or a transactional message, which is directed to one particular user. And that's essentially how AWS differentiates how to send the message, either broadcast, which is promotional, or targeted to one specific user, which is transactional. And once you land on this page, you want to create your topic at this point here. So what we want to do is just type zip code, let's say SMS topic, so something like this. So I already created a topic like this, but for now let's just say test and see the next steps going forward. So we want to click on next step here, and if you see the details of the topic, you will have a FIFA queue and you have a standard queue. So we want to go with the standard queue because there's nothing special that we'll be doing in this topic, so that is fine. And also some of the configs is a display name that you can set if you want, but it's really optional. There's nothing for you to do there. And we're going to go with default options in everything that is set up here. So the encryption, we leave it default, access policy, data protection policy, delivery policy, status logging, and tags active tracing as well. So we're going to talk about the login later on, so that you can see how you can plug your topic into CloudWatch and then have the logs coming in there as you use your topic. So basically, once that is set up, you just want to click on create topic, and it will give you a new SNS topic that you can now plug into and start using. So this is the default setup, and we are gonna go to our topics right here, and we see the topics that we have created. On my side, I already created a zip code SMS topic. Let's just go right into that so that you get to see it. So once you click on create on your side, it will give you a topic just looks like this. And what you want to do on your side, it wouldn't have a subscription, and a subscription basically means users that or entities that are subscribed to that topic to receive any message that is sent via the topic. So you can create a subscription here, which is basically a mobile number. What you need to do is select a topic, and obviously on our side it will be an SMS. And what we select in SMS, you will need to provide a mobile number here and add that as we want, but we are not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to do this via the REST API that we'll be creating in Spring Boot in a short while. So that's what we have. We have our topic, and we have the subscriptions on our topic, and now we want to see how Spring Boot can help us deliver such a solution. So first things first, we're going to start at the initializer as usual. And if you're familiar with this channel, this is what we do. We start our project on our initializer config, and then we go further into the code and see how we can deliver a solution for our organization or our project in that sense. So what we want to do is obviously it's going to be Java, and we want our project to be Maven. We want the latest stable version, so we're going to take 3.1.1, and we have the zip code, which is that group, and then the artifact is SNS message, and then that's basically just the descriptions that we have there. the packaging will be jar, and then Java will be 17, and that should be fine. And then on our dependencies, we have DevTools, just for a faster reload, and also configurations on our side. We don't need to worry when we're debugging our code, so that's fine. And we have Lombok for our POJOs or entity classes. So essentially here will be easy for us to create constructors and access modifiers for all our fields in our POJOs and entities as well. So that's why we need Lombok. And then Spring Web, obviously we'll be creating REST APIs, so we need Spring Web to be able to scaffold all of that for us and be able to interact with our backend application. So there's one dependency that's missing here, and if you're familiar with the channel and you're staying tuned with our AWS services, we do have SQS, we do have SES integrations and all those type of services in the channel. So if you haven't watched those, please do watch those. And if you need SQS or queues in your project, go check that out, how we integrated AWS as well. And also please do like and subscribe for more videos like this. Comment if you have any concerns or you need code debug. I'm always willing to assist where I can and help you make your project come to life. So with all that being said, we do have one dependency here, which is Amazon AWS SDK. So that you will see in the POM file on the project. So I'll also attach this initializer link into the description down below. So please do check that out. And as you do, remember to like and subscribe as well. I appreciate that very much. So now that we have the config, that's looking good. One thing that we want to jump onto is also, don't forget documentation, guys. I always recommend this. Please do check out the documentation so that you're always up to date with the latest classes that are there, releases that are there, or the latest version of the SDK and what changed and what new updates that they are offering from the AWS SDK. So we do have a documentation which is also going to be in the description down below, and do check it out if you want to get this integration the right way. So let's jump right into our code right now. The one thing that I wanted to show you before we do that is our REST endpoints. So we do have a subscribe on how to add mobile numbers into your topic. So like we saw on our AWS right here, so our topic has subscriptions, and that subscription is that mobile number there. So we'll be playing around with this later on after explaining the code to you. And then the other thing is sending a customer SMS, which we have a customer SMS endpoint. So this one will go straight to that mobile number which we have, and if we click on send, it should go through to that mobile number. So that's looking fine. AWS is happy, nothing to worry about there. And then we also have a send campaign message, which is a promotional message that will be broadcasted to every subscriber in our topic. So essentially that is what we have. So we have 3 endpoints, and we're going to see how AWS solves that for us. So let's jump right into our Spring Tool suite and see how that is scaffolded. And obviously we want to start on the POM file. The last dependency that I was telling you about is here, and that is AWS SDK. We are on 1.11.163. That's what we're using. And also on my previous videos, if you've watched, there is also a integration and IDE integration of the AWS SDK. So if you want to check that out, check one of my previous videos. I think it's the SES or SQS. Please do check that out, and you will see how I integrated the AWS SDK. The icon is right here. So I have the AWS Toolkit, and it can basically assist you into developing and integrating with AWS much quicker. I also do recommend that if you want to see how you can integrate using the toolkit as well. So there is different integrations for Eclipse, IntelliJ, and those type of IDEs, so you can check that out as well. And now going into the code, we want to check our AWS SNS service. So this service is where our business logic is going to sit, And on our business logic, we basically want to pick up these configs that are readily available on our applications.properties. So if we go to applications properties file, you will see I have my access key and secret key, and then I have the topic name, I have the topic ARN, and then I have the SMS type, which is an SMS type, and then I have the value, which is promotional by default. And you will see how we change it to transactional when we want to send it to a specific user or a specific mobile number. And then the data type is a string, and that's basically all the configs that we need, or the constant or variables that we need to set for our AWS integration. So now continuing on our service or business logic. So basically Spring Boot is going to load all of these variables based on all of these. So we have this annotation at value, and then we give it the curly braces with the $sign there and the key to that particular property, and then it's going to assign that value to AWS SQS key variable, and the same way with all these other constants that we have right here. So once that is loaded, the first things first, if you've seen the previous videos, and again I do recommend that if you are working with other AWS services, so we first start with our AWS credentials, and we pass in the basic credentials using the access key and the secret key over there. So once the credentials are set, we want to build our client. And how we build our client, essentially we are building an SNS client. And if you've seen the previous videos, we have with sending emails, you integrate with SES, so you will build a SES client, and with SQS you will build an SQS client. And the same way we are doing right here, so building an SNS client, and we want to have our SNS builder as standard, and we're passing in the credentials which we already populated right here, and we say authenticate with credentials, and then we give it the correct region. And I want to emphasize something on the region as well. If your topic is in a different region and you are connecting to a different region, you will get failures. That's definitely guaranteed, and I've seen a lot of people struggling with this simply because they are connecting to a wrong region and their topic is not there. Then when they try sending messages, they get failures from AWS to say this doesn't exist or resource not found or something like that, and they cannot figure out why, because everything is fine, the code looks fine, but they are in the wrong region. So you need to know where your region is and connect to that region so that your client can interact and find the resource you're looking for. And that's basically it. So then we build our client right here, and we send it back to where we need to use it. And the next thing is the SMS attributes. So the SMS attributes tell the message how it should basically uh, be processed by the SNS topic. So the message that you are sending, what is it? What type is that particular message? And then we take the SMS type properties, and also with the value, which is transactional or promotional. And this is very important. If it's promotional, you are going to point it directly to the queue and it's going to go to everyone. But if it's transactional, you're going to have a mobile number, then it's going to be sent to that particular user. So in that same way, that's how it is done. So once we set these attributes here for the SMS, we are then able to send it through to our topic, and AWS will take care of delivering it to the user. So basically there are more attributes. We're just using the few ones because we just want to keep this short and sweet and make sure that you get the most basic that you need, and then going further you can adapt it and enhance it to fit your use case. So as you can see, the SMS type here is a string which is passed in right here. So by default you will see we are on promotional, but we are going to see how we change the promotional to transactional in a short second here. So let's go further. Now that we have set up everything else, we get into the business logic, into the gist of what needs to happen. So the first things first is we have the subscribe method, just like we have the subscribe endpoint. So for the subscribe endpoint, we call subscribe mobile and we just pass it a mobile number. And then we build our client, we get our client from the builder, and then we say subscribe request, and we tell it the topic ARN, that's what we give it, and we tell it the type is an SMS, and then the mobile number that we want to subscribe. And then once that is set there, we then tell our client to actually just subscribe that particular mobile number, and it takes care of that. So if there's any exceptions thrown at this level, AWS will throw it back to you and tell you what it is. And if you go to the implementation or to the declaration here, you will see the number of exceptions that are thrown right here. You have a subscription limit exceeded, you have an invalid parameter exception, you have an internal error exception or a not found, and an authorization error exception. So those are already thrown. You don't need to really worry about that. And if you do want to catch that particular exception, you can obviously surround this block in a try catch, and then make sure that when it fails, you return a specific message, or you can just do catch exception, then return exception e.get message, and it's much more shortened, and it's much more clear on what is going on there. So the subscribe, we're going to see how the controller takes this particular function to be able to subscribe the mobile in a few seconds further when we get to the controller side. So the other part is now we are at a point of publishing the message to SNS topic. So this particular function right here, we are only giving it the message, which means this is a broadcast message. So we intend to broadcast to all users subscribed to our topic. And as usual, we are going to build our client right here. So we get the SNS builder. And then once we have the builder, we say I surround this in the try catch again, so that I can be able to catch all the exceptions, just as I was saying on the subscriber. So what we do in our try block is we have a publish request, and that publish request, we give it a few parameters, which is with message, and we pass it the message that we want, and we say we target ARN, and the target ARN is topic ARN, and then we say with message attributes, and obviously these are the attributes that we built at the top on build SMS attributes, and then we give it the default configuration, which is promotional right here. And also the one thing that I need to mention is the promotional SMSs, they are actually yeah, the promotional ones are much more expensive than the transactional ones, because the you said no, the promotional are cheaper than the transactional, because transactional is targeted and promotional is actually cheaper because it's a bulk send, so you're sending to a lot of users, therefore it is cheaper. But when it is transactional, it's much more expensive because it's targeted to one particular user. So then once we've set the attributes, we are then setting the SDK request timeout. If there's any delays right there, we can just time it out, so that's fine right there. And now that we have our request built successfully, what we want to do is call our client and say publish the request, and then it pushes that to AWS, and then AWS takes care of delivering that particular message to all our users in that way. So once that is successful, we'll have a campaign message sent successfully, or an error if it's thrown at this level here on the publish, we'll be able to see it as well. And because I'm catching the exceptions right here, I can just print the stack trace for myself, and then the user will just get failed to send message, and that is much more cleaner and much more user friendly as well. So now that the publish to SNS topic, as you will see here, I still have the same thing, publish to message to SNS topic, but now I'm just adding the mobile number, which means this particular message is only aimed at to this particular mobile number or this particular user and no one else. So it's the same function. We have our builder as usual, then we surround our message in a try catch, then we have our request here built. But the difference with this request is that instead of the topic ARN, we have the mobile number that we want to send the message to. And also in the attributes we pass transactional, which is what is targeted to that particular user. So those are just the two differences, is that with the broadcast or the promotional one, we have a topic ARN and the attributes is promotional. On the SMS type value, it's just promotional, and then on the other method we are focusing on one user and it is transactional because we're targeting one user, and basically that's the difference. And we, in the same way, we also publish the request, and then AWS will take care of delivering the message to the user, and the return will be customer message sent successfully. And if there's an exception there, we print the stack trace, and then we also just send that to the user to say failed to send that particular message. And now that we have seen our business logic and what AWS does, or how Spring Boot integrates with AWS, we can now check the controller side of things. So as we're going to start at the very top on our REST controller, and base for our controller here is notification, and we first want to auto wire our service, which is the SNS service that we've created, and that's obviously plugged in and available for us to use. And then we have three post methods. So the first one is the subscribe, which you have seen in our postman right here. So this is the subscribe, and it has subscribe and then the mobile number as a path variable, which we store to string mobile. And then we call the subscribe mobile function from our service, and then AWS Spring Boot will take care of submitting that to AWS, and then we'll come back with a response, a success or a failure. Then we send that back to the user, and that's basically how that looks like. Nothing complicated. And then when going to the customer endpoint or the targeted SMS, we have a request body of SMS request DTO, and if you look at our DTO right here, we have just two fields, message and mobile, and nothing fancy. Then we have our access modifiers right here, so there's nothing interesting at this point. So in this at this level here, you can also use Lombok to say all args constructor and no args constructor. Let's just do that. And also you can have getters, and you can have setters. So basically you can have all of these readily available, and that's what Lombok is essentially used for. Makes life easy when you're creating entities and pojos and things like that. So that's why you would need Lombok. So if you don't want to use all of this code, you can just use Lombok to do that and not use all of those. So on my side, I just wanted you to see that in action, and now we are able to use our request DTO on our controller right here. And as you can see, what we do, we just call our service and say publish message to SNS topic. We give it the message and we give it the mobile number, and then we wait for the response if the message was sent or it failed or anything went wrong right there. So that's still fine. And then on the campaign as well, you will see it's basically looks the same as the customer SMS. We still use the same request DTO as the request message, but on these On this endpoint, we only care about the message and not the mobile number. So even if the mobile number is there on the request DTO, we won't do anything because we don't really need it. So basically, it's just not useful for us to have. And if you see on Postman right here, for customer, we do have the mobile number provided. And for the campaign, we only have message provided right there. So there's nothing to worry about at this point. And then to send our request to AWS, and then we await the response and send it back to our user or to whoever's integrating with the back end to call that particular endpoint for promotional SMSs or a customer's SMS. So customer SMSs, or these the targeted transactional SMSs, mostly used for OTPs. When you want to authenticate and verify users, you can use those type of SMSs. And then campaigns will be obviously if the company is running a campaign, promotional products, and all of those, you'll be able to send those mass SMSs via that particular endpoint. So with that being said, this is essentially what our how Spring Boot delivers the integration with SNS to be able to get to users via text message. And now we can see it in action for the one last time. And hopefully you guys will be able to like and subscribe at this point. And if you are this far, I really do appreciate you, and hopefully you are part of the family going forward. So now let's just subscribe one other mobile number, just a random number. I have no idea who this guy is. Let me just do that. Yeah, let's just subscribe this guy. So subscription successfully. So now what we're going to do is go to AWS, and we're just going to, let me see, I can refresh here. Let me just go to topics, and I'm going to go back into my topics. Now we have another subscription there, which is that particular mobile number, and it's the one that we just used right here. And because we've subscribed it, it's already confirmed. There's nothing for us to worry about. Everything looks good. And now we can go to text messages. And if you go to text messages right here and you scroll down, you'll see that we don't have anything as yet. These were just my previous tests, so that is fine. And you will see there are failures here. I will explain those failures in a few, and you will see why that is happening. And let's now send a customer SMS. So let me just put that there, send that through. Please do subscribe. That's the message that we are trying to send to our user and also to you, our viewer. And hopefully you will do like and subscribe, and we'll appreciate you in that way. So we've sent that and it went through successfully. So what we want to do is go back to our topic, just check it again. So now we expect something in the logs. So you see now I have delivery status logs that are there, and I'm just going to show you in a few minutes how that is done. So let's see what we have here. So the failure basically is your account requires additional review prior to being able to send SMS messages. So basically nothing failed on my side. I just need to request AWS and I need to send them a case to state why I need SNS on my account. Then they'll be able to actually approve me. Then I'll be able to send SMSs in that way. But this is not a failure to say that there's something wrong with the message or something wrong with what I'm doing. It's just another layer from AWS to know who maybe uses their services and why they're using that particular service as well, which is one thing that I'm happy about. So if you get this, guys, it's not a big issue. Just follow the message. If you read the full message, as you can see here, it's pretty short, but in CloudWatch you can see the full message, and you open a case with AWS, state why you need SNS, and then they will review it and open it for you, and you should be fine in that way. And you basically be able to use the same code to deliver messages in that sense. So I think that covers the failures that you're seeing here. So I haven't requested for that on my side, but once that is sorted on my end, I will come back and do a recheck with you guys. So that's still fine with me. And then the other one is the broadcast, which we have a promotional do subscribe message here, which we hope that mass or all the viewers, hopefully, that watch the video and see how helpful it is, can be able to at least subscribe to the channel and see how we get our case resolved for our SNS, and see how you can also get yours solved and happy. So we do get a success as well here. So let's just go back to our logs and see what we have. Let's just go back to our logs. Let's refresh this and see what we got. So yep, so our messages are coming through, two for the other mobile number, one for the other one. So this is the broadcast, obviously, so it's sending to both these numbers, and the other one was just one user, which is transactional. So if you open this, we should see a promotional flag. Wait, I think this one is a transactional, the one that we sent first. It's gonna delay in giving us the other one. Let's see, this is also transactional, so let's just wait for the promotional one. Should be in a few. Let's see, transactional, promotional is, oh yeah, so it's this one right here. So the promotional is at the very top, so that's fine. Let's just open that and you will see it is promotional right there, so that's fine. You will get a lag in terms of the log refreshing and retrieving the latest. Just give it like a minute or two, then it should be populating, so that is fine. I'm happy with what we have on the logs. And now the other way that you would want to do this is, so on these logs it will show something that looks like this block here, add mobile number. It will say something like add or edit delivery log status, something like that. Then you will click on that particular button, then it will take you to something that looks like, let me go to the topic itself, then I'll show you where it will take you if you have the logs, if you're worried about the logs. So if I go to delivery status logging and I click edit, it will take me to the edit topic, and you, in the edit topic, you want to go to delivery status logging, which is just right here, and it will take you here when you're on that activity screen on your text messages, and you click on edit the delivery log status. It will take you to this particular screen, and then you can change these particular IAM roles. So what you need is an IAM role that you can use to actually see the successful deliveries or see the activities of all your successes of your SMSs, the success and the failure. And if you don't have any IAM role that exists on your account, you can just create new, and then you say create new roles. Once you are here, it will show you two roles that you're going to see. The one is the success delivery, and the other one is the failure delivery, just like here, SNS success feedback and SNS failure feedback. And you just click allow, and it will configure that, and it will take you back to this screen right here, and to populate the user for success and populate the user for failure. And all you have to do is just save changes, and that is sorted for you. You'll be able to start seeing logs coming back on your activity logs. So let's go back to the text message, and you will start seeing basically the log being populated right here, as it is doing on my side as well. So as you can see, it is delaying, and now we have more messages. At first we had 3, now we had 4, and it's also promotional right there. So happiness in all that I am receiving. I just need to sort out my AWS account, and then that should be fine. So I'm happy so far. Let's now see how we can see the same logs in CloudWatch. So if you want to see CloudWatch, you just go CloudWatch on your search right here, and it will pop up there at the very top, and you select that. So what it will do in CloudWatch, when you create those roles, this side, once you click allow, it will also create a log group for SNS, and you will see it now. So this I can just cancel as well. Let's just cancel that, and let's come back. So on the log groups, you see that we have an SNS and the region that our topic is. We just click on that log group, and you can see the log stream coming in already, and we can see what is going on all our logs without worrying about anything, as you will know why failures are having issues, and you will see all the successes as well. So basically you see more details in terms of what I need to do. So basically that's what I have for now, and I hope this video was a success, also helpful to you, and hope that you do like and subscribe. um, Please do stay tuned for more videos like this, and I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.